Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And we're continuing with our literature unit for the month of November. And remember, our featured novel is entitled The Midnight Library. It was written by Matt Haig, whom we're going to talk about today.
Right, he's a British fellow, and he is, he's in his late 40s, I believe, but he's written several books. If you go and look him up, you can see what else he's done. The book before this that was really famous was How to Stop Time, and that was also optioned off to a film company. You'll recognize this name, Benedict Cumberbatch. He's the one, his production company bought How to Stop Time, and they're going to make a TV series out of it, a 6-part series. This current one, The Midnight Library, has also been optioned to a film company, and it looks like it's going to be made by some really good folks. At least Matt Haig is excited to work with that company. When you sell your book, you honestly don't know what they're going to do with it. Once you sell the rights or you option it to a company, it's theirs, and they can make whatever film they want to. So, yeah, unless you demand to still be involved. So it's kind of a scary predicament, but you can make a lot of money. So we're going to talk about this novel and what we think Matt Haig was trying to communicate through this book. It's a very interesting book, and it's really good because it makes you think about your own life and the choices you're making. And if you're a younger person, you know, in those teen years or even in your early 20s, you still have a lot of really big choices ahead of you that will determine the course of your life.
Exactly. There's a lot of pressure on young people these days. I know I felt that pressure, but from the current perspective, I kind of think that it really didn't matter that much. Probably made too much of a big deal out of it. But in any case, let's get going. Let's listen to today's lesson, and we'll come back to talk about it.
The Midnight Library, penned by Matt Haig, takes readers on a profound journey of self-discovery through its protagonist, Nora Seed. Burdened by despair and regret, Nora contemplates suicide, but is given an opportunity to experience alternative lives. The story prompts a thought-provoking question. If we had the chance to live our lives again, would we be happier? While exploring these existences, Nora makes different choices, with many paths leading to successful careers. However, these paths also take her through periods of hardship, such as mental health issues and the loss of loved ones, highlighting that each life holds unique lessons. Nora's journey through these diverse lives emphasizes the importance of self-worth. An instance that illustrates this theme is when Nora doesn't become a piano tutor in one life. Her student in her original life ends up as a troubled teenager. This circumstance makes her acutely aware of the significance of every seemingly minor decision and the potential influence one can have on others. The novel also delves into the idea of love as a fundamental human need. In her original life, Nora grapples with feelings of isolation, convinced that she is unloved. However, in what she perceives to be her most satisfying existence, she is cherished by her husband, daughter, brother, and best friend. The sense of belonging that arises from the love she experiences sparks in her the desire to continue living. After exploring various lives, Nora's concluding sentiment captures the essence of the novel's theme. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything. Because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibilities.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's continue to talk about our lesson today. The Midnight Library, again, is our featured novel, and it was penned or written by Matt Haig. And this book takes readers on a profound journey of self-discovery through its protagonist, Nora Seed. Something's profound when it's deep and has a lot of meaning, and it's a journey of self-discovery, trying to learn about yourself. And the protagonist in this book is Nora Seed. The protagonist just means the main character, the character in which all the action evolves around.
Yeah, you can also call this person the lead character, the lead in a movie, the lead in a play that's being put on the stage, a drama, the protagonist. So this is all about Nora Seed, and everybody else is just a character that is surrounding her. She's the most important character. So just to review this, she was burdened by despair and regret. She couldn't take it anymore, and she finally committed suicide. So burdened, you're holding a lot on your shoulders. You just feel like the whole world is on your shoulders. And if you feel despair is a noun. It's just the complete loss of any hope that things will get better. You just don't see your way out. Everything's dark around you. And if you have regrets or regret, you can use it in a countable way or non-count as a noun. Just means you feel bad about things you've done in the past. Maybe you have regrets about hurting a friend, or maybe you regret not taking a job because you wanted a longer break from working. Who knows? It could be regret about anything, but she is burdened by this, so it really holds her down. It gives her a lot of heartache, and she's very depressed, and at some point she does decide she's going to take her own life. If you contemplate something, that's a verb we use when we want to illustrate that someone's thinking deeply about something. So it's not a rushed decision. It was something that she thought about a lot. And when you're that depressed, sometimes you don't listen to people around you who are trying to reach out to you. And sadly, we're seeing the rate of suicide is going up everywhere. So here, this book gives this character an opportunity to actually change that last decision she made while she was on Earth. And she's going to be experiencing alternative lives.
Exactly. Of course, most of us have to imagine our lives in the future. If I go to medical school, then this is what's going to happen to me. Or if I join the army, this is what's going to happen to me. But in this particular book, she has the opportunity to see those alternative lives.
Kind of cool.
And the story prompts a thought-provoking question. If we had the chance to live our lives again, would we be happier? So if you prompt something, you propose this, you present this question, it's thought-provoking. If something provokes something, it stimulates a response. And so if something's thought-provoking, it stimulates thinking or consideration or attention to a particular question. So it's thought-provoking. If you read this, you might be trying to answer the question, yeah, if we could do it all over again, if we could live our lives again, would we be happier? Would we actually make better decisions?
This is the part about novels that I just love, is that you get a chance to enter the world of somebody else who can be very different from yourself, right? And you're in their shoes and you get a chance to see and feel perhaps what they're feeling. And it makes you think about your own life. I love that about novels. That's why I read, because I like to kind of put myself into other people's shoes for a while. So this book really is thought-provoking because you get a chance to look at your own life and think, hey, if I had the chance to live my life again, would I be happier? Would I make different choices? And would those different choices lead to more happiness or maybe more misery or unhappiness?
Good question there. I don't think I would, actually. Otherwise, I wouldn't have my daughter. It would be someone else. So, yeah, it's hard for me to actually think I'd like to live things over again.
Yeah.
But indeed, this is a thought-provoking question. Yeah, would we be happier if we made different decisions? And while exploring these existences or these different lives, Nora makes different choices with many paths leading to successful careers.
Yeah.
So she can read those books and find out, hey, if I made that decision, then I could have a successful career. However, these paths also take her through periods of hardship, such as mental health issues and the loss of loved ones, highlighting that each life holds unique lessons. So I guess the lesson here is that none of your possible lives are perfect. You gain something and then you lose something else. As she finds out that these paths or these life choices involve a lot of hardship, which means difficulty, situations that are difficult to get through, especially the death of family members or the loss of jobs, stuff like that.
Sometimes we'll talk about hardship as being trials that you have to go through, trials and tribulation. Everyone has those. Doesn't matter if you have money or you have no money. A lot of people who have money have poor health or are in horrible family situations you don't know. So yeah, these paths also take her through periods of hardship. Oh, here's one of these examples with paths. If you say paths with a Z, it's easier to say paths also. But I think paths leading is actually easier. So just make your choice, whatever.
Well, I would say just substitute the word road. These roads you take, that's the same meaning.
That's easier to read out loud.
To pronounce, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, some of these words. They're hard for us too. It's not just you guys. But I know it's especially hard for you because you don't have those particular sounds in Chinese. So, yeah, hardship. Hardship can be countable and uncountable. It can be both. So hardships, she's gone through a lot of hardships, or someone's gone through a lot of hardship. They're both okay. So some of these examples here would be mental health issues, the loss of loved ones, and this highlights that each life holds unique lessons. We're all here. We all are going through different experiences, although some of the experiences that we're going through, they relate to other people around us. Sometimes you can have a friend who has had a similar experience. You can share in that and help empathize with other people where you feel what they're feeling, perhaps because you've gone through it too. And I think that makes us better people, though. So each life holds unique lessons, and that's the truth.
And that brings us to the midway point in our explanation for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们从前天开始带大家看《午夜图书馆》这本书。如果真的可以重选人生，你会重选吗？如果重选学校，你会重选吗？你会更幸福吗？好，这《午夜图书馆》这个书实在是太可爱、太有趣了。不过，当我们要看这本书的时候，就要看看作者啦，他大意怎么样啦，他到底有什么主题呀？主要是探讨什么？所以，像第一段一开始就一定会出现。作者是谁呢？作者就出现在第一段的第一句 Matt Haig。 这个 Matt Haig 他所写的这一本书啊，接下来就帮大家复习一下大意咯。首先呢，在第一句还是有提到主角就是 Nora Seed。 好，第二句开始呢，就是故事的大意。那这个我们知道，就是 Nora Seed 他就放弃了游泳啊，放弃了音乐啊，然后跟哥哥、父母亲啊，甚至连好朋友的关系都破灭了。然后他就觉得很失望啊，人生没有希望，世界没他也没关系啊，就有一些不幸的念头这样子。好，所以这就是故事的大意。在第二句这边有分词构句耶，因为一开始就用 PP 来开头 ，burdened by something。Nora contemplates suicide。 我看到这个字就真的很严重。不过我们可以来还原一下，假设它不是分词构句的话，它还原应该是因为被绝望跟后悔压着 because Nora is burdened by something。 这样子句子上下文才 make sense 嘛，才合理。好，所以如果连接词不见， 动词的 be 动词就会变成 being。being 在句子简化里面常常还是会被省略啊，因为 be 动词没有意义嘛，它是一种功能性的动词，所以主词就是 Nora 还是删掉。我们再回复一下这个所谓的分词构句 ，PP 或者是 ing 开头，都是因为连接词省略的关系。好，那故事呢开始就引出一个发人深省的问题了。假设真的有机会可以重新活一次，你真的会选择其他的道路吗？你真的会更快乐吗？第一段的第3句就更重要了。这个问题是有可能会发生的吗？这个前提是不可能会发生的。所以这个第3句啊，其实就叫做假设语气。各位听众朋友啊，假设语气是不是语气？假设语气其实是一种英文的动词与事实相反的时候必须做的变化。好，那你说假设是什么？因为假设语气我们会带到一个 if 啊，如果我有机会重新再来一次，那语气是什么？语气就是这个不成立的前提，它会产生什么结果嘛？就会带到语气 ushukumai。所以假设语气它强调的是一个英文动词跟事实不符的时候他会做的一些变化。例如在这里，如果我们有机会再重新活一次啊，我们就没有机会重新活一次，与现在事实相反嘛，所以这个有就会用过去式来取代 have。 If we had the chance to live our lives again， 我们会怎样吗？就没有这个机会，怎么可能还会呢？所以那个会 will we be happier 就会变成 would we， 用过去式来取代现在式，因为它不可能会发生。所以假设语气，再说一次哦，它其实就是动词在与事实相反的时候必须做的变化。只是我们说假设语气，假设语气，然后它就会带到各种不同的句型。好，对啊，如果真的可以重新活一次，会更快乐吗？ Nora 做了不同的选择，看了不同的书，其实每一本书，每一个不同的生命都有不同的结局耶。但是这些道路也让他经过了很多困难的时刻，比如说他真的是游泳健将，他就有心理问题啦，后来选择了音乐，居然他哥哥什么 drug abuse 就过世啦，等等的。好，所以第一段第5句也还是很重要，因为这里有个关系子句的简化，逗点之后的 highlighting 凸显了什么重点出来。它的原句啊，本来应该是 which highlights， which highlight 先行词就是前面的这个所谓的 hardship， mental health issue， loss of loved ones， 它是一个关系子句的简化。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's continue with our lesson. Again, we're talking about the Midnight Library. And remember, Nora Seed, the protagonist in the novel, had lots of different choices. She could read about those choices at the Midnight Library. And, of course, she made different choices and had different paths or roads that led to different kinds of careers. But, of course, they involved hardship and mental health issues and having to see a psychologist and take antidepressant medication and things like that. And Nora's journey through these diverse lives emphasizes the importance of self-worth. Diverse just means a lot of different choices. You could also pronounce this word as diverse. Again, you get lots of variety. Like New York City has a diverse population. There are lots of different kinds of people living there. And you could say it has a lot of diversity. That's the noun, but diverse here is the adjective. And these are diverse lives. And yes, indeed, they kind of stress the importance of liking yourself, of having self-esteem or self-worth.
Now, those two words are very similar, self-worth and self-esteem. How you view yourself, not how others view you. It's how you view yourself. And that's very important for people to be happy. So an instance or an example that illustrates this theme is when Nora doesn't become a piano tutor in one life. So this is a way to show Nora Hey, what if you had never been the piano tutor for that one student who quit on you? How would it have affected you and this other student? If you illustrate something, you're just using something as an example. You can actually illustrate by drawing a picture or taking a photograph. Those are illustrations. But you can also use this verb to explain or to make something clear. And so this particular instance or this particular example is when Nora doesn't become a piano tutor. If you're a tutor, of course, you're somebody who is hired to, because you're paid for it, you're hired to help somebody, a student, overcome some difficulties. So here she's helping somebody with their piano. I had a piano tutor. It wasn't my piano teacher. That was someone different. My piano tutor would actually come to my house to make sure I practiced. I hated practicing, but I'm glad I did after all of that. What would have happened if she hadn't been a piano tutor, Tom?
Yeah, in this particular case, her student ended up as a troubled teenager. So because she was a piano tutor, that probably got that person to focus more on things and they got out of trouble. So yes, indeed, basically this is telling us that, hey, her job as a piano tutor was actually worthwhile. And if she had not been a piano tutor, then that teenager would have had a troubled life. This is true. Sometimes we need to focus on things in order to stay out of trouble.
Now, this circumstance or this particular instance makes her acutely aware of the significance of every seemingly minor decision. Yeah, we make really small decisions every day. One might be just to smile at someone on the street. Maybe that changes that person's day completely. You never know. So every day we're making lots of minor decisions as well as major decisions every once in a while. But there is a lot of significance in all of these. Seemingly, it seems like it, but not necessarily minor decisions. Because we have potentially the potential to influence somebody else. And she was able to influence that particular person that she tutored. Even though that person ended up quitting, we don't know the conversations that Nora had with that particular student that helped that person. So in this alternative life, she wasn't a piano tutor, and it turns out that this particular student was a troubled teenager. So she's acutely aware. To be acutely aware of something means you're very, very aware of something. Acute just means at a very intense degree or level.
Exactly. So, yes, indeed, we do have a lot of influence on others based on our decisions. And the novel also delves into the idea of love as a fundamental human need. So this is another theme or idea in the book. It delves into the idea of love. To delve into something means it explores this topic. It talks about it. It includes it in the narrative. And we have some situations that involve this idea of love as a fundamental human need. Indeed, people do need to love others and to be loved by others. It's fundamental. And if something's fundamental, it's basic, it's necessary, it's at the core. And if you don't have it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. So Nora grapples with feelings of isolation in her original life. To grapple with something means to wrestle with it, to fight with it, struggle with it. A grappler, you'll often hear grappler if you're into sports, is another nickname for a wrestler. So someone who wrestles in real life in sports. But here you're just struggling or working out your feelings of isolation. And that's what happened to her in her original life. And this convinced her that she was unloved. But you know what? Everybody feels isolation at some point. You have to not think in a negative way, though. You got to get out there. When you start feeling that way, it's a sure sign you need to be around friends and family. And that doesn't mean on your phone, guys, on social media. It means actually getting together with people and laughing and talking and just connecting with others.
And moving on to the next sentence here, it says, however, in what she perceives to be her most satisfying existence, She is cherished by her husband, daughter, brother, and best friend. So that's one life path that she read about. She perceived it to be her most satisfying existence. To perceive just means to interpret something, to see it in a certain way, to be aware of it or conscious of it. So she perceives it or she sees it or interprets it as her most satisfying life, her most satisfying existence because, hey, she's cherished, she's loved by her husband, daughter, brother, and best friend. They don't seem to have any problems in that particular life.
Yeah, I think love is underestimated these days by everybody. Those relationships are huge in terms of being just happy and satisfied with life, feeling like life is worthwhile. So the sense of belonging, and everyone wants to feel that arises or comes from the love she experiences, sparks in her the desire to continue living. If something sparks inside you, it just means it starts that feeling. It gets you going. We often use spark to talk about those little little bits of electricity or fire that get something bigger going, a spark. And here it rekindles or gets that feeling of wanting to continue to live going in her because she feels like she belongs somewhere, that people need her. You need to feel needed. So after exploring various lives, Nora's concluding sentiment, her sentiment is just her feeling that is captured, is the essence of the novel's theme. So that concluding sentiment is that feeling actually captures what this novel is all about. It's the essence of the novel's theme. The essence of something is just its most basic or important part. It's some quality that is just part of it. It's not could be abstract, but it's very essential. So what is the essence of the novel's theme there, Tom?
Well, the essence is this quote here. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibilities. So that's the essence of the novel, the spirit, the soul of the novel. Indeed, we don't really have to do everything because we are already infinite. You need to interpret that yourselves because I'm having trouble figuring out exactly what that means. And while we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibilities. Multifarious means having lots of aspects or different possibilities. For example, if you go to a carnival or something, it will offer multifarious activities. Or the night market offers multifarious activities, things to eat, games to play, things to buy, people to see, etc.
I think it's interesting because the author, as I read, Matt Haig, he doesn't really believe in God. And I think part of the essence of the novel's theme, where it says because we are already infinite, means we go on forever. So, yeah, if we really do go on forever is something I believe, then we have lots of chances to experience even more than we're experiencing in this life here on Earth. So never give up on yourself. There's always a chance to experience something new. Right now, someone who's always introducing our students to something new is our Chinese teacher. Let's listen one more time.
所以我们接下来就要谈谈故事到底有什么样的 theme， 它的主题是什么？第一个主题当然就是一个 self-worth， 自我价值。因为不管是做什么样的一个选择什么样的人生，其实我们对别人都是会很有价值的。好，它出现在第二段第一句最后面的 self-worth。第二句呢，则有一个限定用法的关系子句，先行词就是这个 an instance， 有一个例子。什么例子呢？ That illustrate this thing， 就是这4个单字，凸显出实际的这个举例出这样的一个主题，就是当他并没有成为一个 piano tutor 的时候呢，没有成为钢琴家教的时候，后来那一个家教的学生啊，居然变成问题青少年呢，所以他就发现他自己的 self-worth， 自我价值就是他如果真的可以对别人造成一些影响，甚至是只是一些微小的抉择，居然会对别人产生很大的改变。这是第一个主题。第二个主题出现在第3段，就是有关于爱这件事情。爱就是人类的基本的需求，就是这个概念。因为在他原本的生活当中， Nora 一直觉得很孤单，比如说呢，因为违背父母亲的期望，然后呢，或者是跟哥哥没有选择音乐，让哥哥跟他有隔阂，甚至是拒绝 Easy， 所以好朋友也不见了，所以他原本就有一种孤独感，所以他就觉得他是不被爱的。在第3段第2句这个地方，我们先把句子还原，在第2个逗点之后，本来有 and is convinced， 它其实也可以成为一个所谓的连接词省略的分词构句，因为主词是 Nora， 动词有2个，第一个是 grapples with feelings of isolation， 就是 grapples 这个动词，第2个动词人be convinced that 就是深深相信一件事，所以 and 跟 be 动词都删掉嘛，他就觉得他是一个不被爱的人，他觉得很孤单的。可是这个人一定要爱人，然后被爱啊，所以接下来在第3句，他觉得一个最满意的人生就是受到丈夫、儿女跟哥哥还有好朋友 Jane的 cherish， 这种 sense of belonging 其实才是他想要活下去最后的一种渴望。所以在第3段第4句这个地方很重要，因为它有一个限定用法的关系子句哦，先行词就是主词的 the sense of belonging， 而关系子句后面从 that一直到 experiences 的这个地方，所以他体验到这种爱产生的归属感，才引起了他想要活下去的渴望。所以其实这本书是蛮有深度的耶，因为像 Nora 我们会投射自己，如果我是 Nora 我过这种生活我会怎么样，我过那种生活我会怎么样。但是这个文章在最后面告诉我们，其实小说最重要的一个主题就是我们真的不需要做任何事情才能拥有一切，因为当我们活着的时候，我们就可以想清楚我们的选择可能会有什么样的后果，所以这本书我觉得还蛮值得看的，希望大家也会喜欢。我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. And if you choose to read this novel, have a good time, and hopefully it will help you with your reading comprehension. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.